The World Meteorological Organization has warned that there is now a high probability that El Niño conditions will develop before September. El Niño is a naturally occurring climate pattern, but when it occurs on top of the long-term warming trend caused by human activity, it can amplify heat, drought, floods, and other weather extremes. To help us understand what this could mean for the months ahead, I'm joined by Carolina Giraldo, Senior Market Intelligence Analyst. Thank you for joining us, Carolina.
Thank you for having me. The key message is simple. El Niño conditions are now present, and the risk signal is stronger. But we still need to be careful. According to the most recent report from NOAA, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration in the United States, El Niño developed over the past month. This is important change. Before, we are watching for El Niño develop. Now, El Niño is already here. Sea surface temperatures are above average. In the Central and Eastern Pacific, the atmosphere is also responding more clearly. So, the message is, El Niño is present, it is expected to strengthen, and climate risks are rising. But it is still a risk signal, not guaranteed outcome.
And why are meteorologists paying such close attention to the WMO warning?
Meteorologists are paying close attention because the Pacific is changing quickly. El Niño is natural climate patterns in the tropical Pacific Ocean. During El Niño, the Central and Eastern Pacific becomes warmer than normal. This can change winds and rainfall patterns around the world. The important point is this. El Niño is not only about warming ocean weather. It becomes more important when the atmosphere also responds. In the most recent update, NOAA reported warmer ocean temperatures and stronger atmospheric signals. This means the oceans and the atmosphere are now more connected. For markets, these are because climate risk can become supply risk. If rainfall or temperature change during important crop stage, it can affect coffee, cocoa, sugar, grains, and vegetable oils.
So the UN has described El Niño as adding fuel to the fire of global warming. How does it act as an accelerator of climate change impacts?
I will explain this carefully. El Niño does not cause climate change. El Niño is natural climate patterns. But when El Niño happens in a warmer world, it can push temperatures when higher for a period of time. A simple way to say it is global warming raises the floor and El Niño can raise the ceiling. So, El Niño can increase the chance of extreme heat, drought in some regions, flood in others, and stress on agriculture and water resources. This is especially important now because El Niño expects to strengthen into the North Hemisphere winter. But again, this is about probabilities, not certainties.
And which regions of the world are likely to feel the biggest impacts if El Niño develops as expected?
Let me clarify this point. El Niño has now developed, but the impacts will still vary from regions to regions. So, I will avoid saying that something will definitely happen. Usually, El Niño can increase the risk of drier weather conditions in Australia, Indonesia, and parts of East Asia. It can also affect monsoon rainfall in part of Asia. In South America, the impacts can be mixed. Along the Pacific coast and in parts of southern South America, El Niño can increase the risk of higher rainfall. In North or South America, in parts of northeast Brazil, El Niño often linked to dry conditions. For agriculture, timing is very important. The same rainfall chains can have very different impacts depending on whether it happened during planting, flowering, grain filling, or harvest. So, the key message is El Niño changed the odds, but the local impact depends on timing, regions, and crop sensitivity.
And how does this potential El Niño compare with previous episodes, particularly the strong 2023 to 2024 event?
At this stage, I think we should be careful not to overstate the impact. This El Niño is no longer used potential because conditions are now present. But we still need to monitor how strong it becomes, how long it stays, and how the atmosphere responds. The most recent models suggest El Niño may strengthen into the North Hemisphere winter. NOAA also highlights a 63% change of the very strong El Niño during November to January. That is important, but we need to be careful. The strength of El Niño does not always match the strength of the impact. A stronger El Niño can increase confidence in some expected climate patterns, but it does not guarantee impact everywhere. For example, a strong El Niño may raise the chance of above average rainfall in one region or drier in weather in another. But actual impact still depends on timing, locations, crop stage, and local conditions. That is why official seasonal forecasts are helpful. They show the probabilities for temperatures and rainfall in the coming seasons. In 23-24, El Niño taught us an important lesson. El Niño events now happens in warmer world. That means the background temperatures is already higher and El Niño can add extra push. But every Niño is different. The impact depends on the strength, timing, duration, and other climate systems.
And what should governments, businesses, and communities be doing now to prepare?
The right response is preparation, no panic. Governments should strengthen early warning systems, monitor water resources, and prepare for heatwaves, droughts, floods, and wildfire risk. Businesses should review their supply chain exposure. For agriculture, this means asking which crops are vulnerable, in which regions, and during which crop stage. For markets, will not assume damage immediately. I will monitor whether the El Niño signal overlaps with sensitive production periods. I will also be careful not to treat El Niño strength as a direct measure of damage. A strong El Niño can increase confidence in some expected climate patterns, but it does not guarantee the impact in every region or commodity. The value of El Niño forecast is that it gives us time to prepare. So, my final message will be El Niño is now present, it is expected to strengthen, and climate risks are rising. but it is still a risk signal, not a guaranteed outcomes. We should monitor the signal, update the forecast, and prepare it for different scenarios. And thus, following the market's implications would encourage them to review our reports, where we provide deeper analysis of the connection between weather, crop development, and commodities markets. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your insights, Carolina. Great to catch up with you. For more videos like this, please do like and subscribe.